Yo, good times, good vibes. It is the October 14th edition of the Monkey Mind Show with the one and only Nero the Natural and Nick Celio. I wasn't supposed to say his name. And we have a very special guest in the studio today. The world's smallest micro cock, Nick DiFato.
God.
And this show is about, I have no idea. It's a special edition because we don't normally do 2 shows in a day.
This show is going to be called Naysayer because we have the biggest naysayer on the face of this fucking earth today over here.
It's ironic because I'm the biggest optimist I've ever met, but no, I'm the biggest naysayer. Makes no sense to me.
You're going to have to stay level over here. And,
Yeah, you got to go back in. So, hey, Nick, you want to do your fun fact of the day? What happened today on October 14th?
In 1066, the Battle of Hastings happened between King Harold II of England and William the Duke of Normandy.
What does that mean?
Who is William the Duke of Normandy?
He is better known as William the Conqueror, and he took over from King Harold and founded Britain from now we know with the new monarchy.
Is that why Hastings, the city of Hastings, is named there? The town of Hastings in New York is named after?
Yes.
You know what's funny? Just to show this naysayer.
Woo!
Just to show this naysayer something. Somebody
I'm very
mentioned.
proud of both of you guys because I didn't know any of that shit.
Somebody mentioned Hastings yesterday, and now we're bringing up Hastings again today.
Yeah, see,
is that it? Is that how it goes?
That's how it goes, man. Vibes. It's about things we're talking about coming to you in
Yeah.
the universe. They're talking about Hastings. Now we're talking about the Duke of Arch Ferdinand or whatever the fuck he said.
That's Franz Ferdinand.
Okay, alright,
Duke
so
of Austria.
on this day, we got the Union Jack. Nope.
Danny will appreciate that. All right, so we got this guy on here, and we say he's a naysayer because
He's also a history teacher, apparently.
if you listen to the Monkey Mind, you'll see that we like to dive deep into the brain and talk about spirituality and energy. This guy believes in none of that.
Wait,
What
that's
what
that's
exactly is what you
conflicting.
believe? Yeah, that is.
What do
kind
You
of-
mean?
said dive deep into the brain and talk about spirituality. The brain and spirituality usually conflict because it's one versus hardcore science and another one's about the spiritual world. They usually don't tie in.
Like I said,
We think
asshole.
they do. I know. I think we beg to differ. We think they do tie in. We think everything's
Yeah,
connected
how-
in its own way.
How does your brain? How's diving deeper into your brain and not looking at everything as just the facade of looking deeper into things, not connected with spirituality? If you didn't look deep into it, you would just take everything for a grain of salt and be like, when I die, I die. This happens because it's coincidence, and that's that.
because
End of show. I win.
Mic drop. Mic drop.
drop kick.
And thanks
mic
for
drop.
tuning in to the Monkey Mind Show October 14th edition. That's been Nick. Nero. No, I'm just kidding.
Defend yourself.
And Nick just dropped the mic on me, so it's show over. No. Usually what happens is when you use the word brain, usually a scientific term. When you think about terms of spirituality, religion, and faith, you're talking about the mind.
I did say mine, didn't I?
No, you said brain.
The mind and the brain do not exist in the same plane.
I know, but it's the same thing when you go into heart and soul. A lot of people say you can do this, the heart
I
does
don't-
this, the heart does that.
I don't see
But
the
people are also often referring about the soul. Soul and mind can't be quantified scientifically.
Why not?
When brain
Does it not-
and heart can be. You know understand what I'm trying to say here?
I kind of do, but you're saying why? 'Cause you can't read a mind, or you know what I mean? Like you can't actually see it in the physical, so it doesn't show up on a test the way a regular heartbeat does. Because what are we talking about when we talk about heart? I think heart is the intention of your mind, even though we think of it physically in your chest, but that's not where it really comes from.
it's
It's
Is
got heart, like meaning
yeah,
yeah,
but that's not where it really comes from. You don't think with your heart, you think with your brain, right?
Maybe you do. I don't know.
Well, maybe.
Exactly, but people often confuse the terms. Is all I'm saying is that when you say
No,
someone's
I
got
totally
heart,
understand what you're saying, trying to say, but
plays with their heart or whatever, or it comes from the heart, it
Right.
doesn't actually come from the heart.
maybe not in the physical place, but yeah, the sentiment of the heart. I think they're one and the same. It might, like you said, it might not register the same because you're reading just beats per minute or whatever, but ultimately the same thing. No, heart, mind. I think so. So
I mean, if I said brain, sorry, I meant mind.
You wanted to call me the naysayer. I needed
No,
to retort.
Clock. I'll call you the
Because-
clock boy.
we kind of talked about this in last episode that your brain, you don't think with, you use your brain to think. Your brain doesn't think for you, right?
Right.
So that's kind of what you're saying in essence. Like your mind is its own thing, and then your brain is.
I mean,
Your
I
brain.
never even really thought about it this way. This is really tearing my own brain apart right now. thinking about it. But is that the thing? Ultimately, like I always say, like your eyes are showing somebody something. Your eyes are showing your brain what to see, right?
Yeah,
but who is your brain showing what you're seeing?
From that, true.
Do you know what I mean?
But from that same perspective, okay.
You, see,
right?
I always blow his mind. He never understands that. But like, who's hearing? Who's hearing?
Now you sound like we're in the Matrix.
No, but who? No, seriously. What is the entity inside of you that your brain is allowing your eyes to show anything to?
The brain. It's just like a giant computer when it comes down to it. It's analyzing and takes all this data in because it comes back through your eyes, through your retinas, through your cornea to the back of your brain, and it quantifies it into images and everything, sights and colors.
But who is it allowing to see? Who or
Yourself,
what is
the brain? The brain.
The
It's
brain?
actually formulating the thoughts. That's why they say the brain's the most powerful machine or thing on Earth, because it literally does all that. It's actual
but how does it?
intelligence, like living intelligence.
Yeah, but if your mind controls your brain and your brain doesn't control your mind, how does it continue to function?
You say
We got a call. We got a call here. We got a caller.
Oh, we got a call into the Monkey Mind Show. Hey, caller.
We got Anne-Marie here on the Monkey Mind. Does she have anything to say? She's calling in here.
I have something to say. I'm going to say my Snapple Apple fact, actually.
Go for it.
Okay.
October 14th, Snapple
So,
Apple Fact.
according to the Snapple Apple fact, number 1471, the Apollo 2 guidance computer was no more powerful than today's pocket calculator.
I call it bullshit.
Wait, were we not just talking about computers?
Yes, that's actually really
God.
creepy.
We got Nick DiFato here, special guest in right now, and he legitimately, like, one of his last sentences was about a computer.
And this is goes.
Wonderful. I'm glad I called right at the right time.
Wait, I have one
Thanks
question
for
for
having me on
you.
the show.
Oh yeah, thanks for calling in.
Right, thanks for calling in.
We have a question.
Alright.
We have one question from the from our special guest Nick DiFato for you, Anne-Marie.
If you had to say for yourself, do you operate with your heart or your mind?
I cannot hear that question.
Oh, well, we'll repeat the question.
Do you operate from the heart or your mind?
I'm going to go with both.
maybe Mama was right, maybe Bubba was right.
What the
Maybe they
hell
both
kind
was
of
right?
answer is that?
We go with our heart, operate through our heart. Is that what you're saying?
I don't really know. It seems like a half-assed question. Personally, can you elaborate a little bit?
Like, if you had to describe yourself, are you a person that would operate cool, calmly, and intelligently from your brain and not with emotion, or do you operate more from the heart with emotion as your driving impulse? Is that more clerical?
I believe both. I'm sticking with both because there could be emotion, within whatever I operate, and my mind as well. I do both. So there is emotion, even though there's rationality.
All right, so Bubba and Mama were both correct, is what you're trying to tell us.
I guess so, yeah.
All right.
I have no idea what's going on, bro.
All right. Well,
All right. Well, thank you for having me.
Absolutely, Anne-Marie. It's been a pleasure.
we'll chat soon.
Okay.
Goodbye for now.
Is there any other insights that you have for us today?
Any other insights that I have today?
Yeah, if you had one piece of advice for anyone, what would it be? Follow your dreams. Follow your nose, like Toucan Sam. You'll find some Fruit Loops.
Okay, here is a quote. Let's see. I'm just going to read a quote.
Yeah, fuck it. Go for it.
Hope is being able to see that there is light despite all of the darkness. Okay? That's all I have to say.
Yeah, take that, Nick Jr.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
All right.
Have a good one. Signing off. Goodbye.
Bye.
Nick's over here looking at Shaq. What's going on with Shaq?
Looking at pictures of Shaquille O'Neal.
Tom sent that to me as a GIF.
All right, so that was pretty cool. You just said computer. She calls in, mentions computers, right? We were just at Hastings, in the episode before.
Vibes.
If you haven't listened to it, my mother was saying that she was talking about her dog, how she about the time when she got skunked. Last week, the day after, she texted me saying, "Oh my God, Sasha almost got skunked today." And then my sister's friend calls her up and says, her dog got skunked. So it's like there's our three clues that they all do tie it together when you talk about something.
Yeah. What
Dude,
do you think about that? Do your thoughts become reality, Nick? Because since you are a naysayer, right? Is it?
Let's hear it.
do you become what you believe, or do you believe what you become, or are you
Are you destined to just become something and you are what you are, or like can you? Yeah, your thoughts. What
Can
do you feel
you
about
alter what you're like supposed to become into what you want to become?
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Are your thoughts
I'm
your
very
reality?
I'm very much a believer in self-fulfilling prophecies.
Okay.
Like, I don't know about true prophecies, like, oh, on this day God ordained that you will be smite down the heath. No, I don't believe in that. But I very much believe in someone, like, if you keep thinking you're going to be bad at something, or you're not going to go anywhere, or you're going to, like, steal from someone, you're eventually going to make it happen because you're making your own prophecy and you're going to fulfill it. Like,
Okay.
self-fulfilling prophecy is something I believe in. And I think people do that themselves. Like, especially with where I work, you have people like, oh, my parents didn't go to school, I'm not going to go to school, I'm not that smart, this or that. No, you can do it.
Right.
But if you feed into that,
Yeah.
you make the prophecy come true because you're just feeding into what you've been told, not what you want to do and strive for.
So you're a big believer in underlying subconscious. Right. Okay.
100%.
But you could change that. You
Yes,
believe-
100%. But it's hard.
Yeah,
It's very hard biologically, socioeconomically, and also hereditary, and everything else to change it because you've been told from a very young age, oh, your parents weren't that smart, you're probably not going to be that smart.
Yeah.
Or, hey, you weren't a smart kid, you did this dumb thing, you did that thing. When we went into kindergarten, you had to put the blocks in there, you couldn't do it because you're a dummy.
Right. But
And
you realize that you're pretty good at putting other things in some things. Right?
Did they tell you that, Nick?
Heyo!
Did they tell you that, Nick? Did they tell you you were a dummy?
I can't put these blocks in this goddamn other blocks and shit. No, they never told Nick he was a dummy. He's a smarty pants. Well, he thinks he is anyway. Let's prove him wrong today. The Battle of Hastings actually took place.
It was October 13th.
Nah, he's a smart guy. He's the smartest guy we've had on the air so far.
It's not saying much
I
because
was
we only
about
had us two.
Yeah, I was about to say, should I be honored or insulted? I'm not really sure.
Here's to honor.
I can't finish the rest of
Right.
that phrase. I'm
No,
not-
kind of your thought is like you're saying that people are predisposed to be almost like a product of their environment. Like if your upbringing is a certain way, then you are, influenced so much to think that. But here we try to say that's not true. It's change your influences. You're not ultimately what you're surrounded by. I mean, but you are, I guess, because we say that too.
No, I don't misquote my words. I say
Not my intentions.
No. I know. No, I'm just saying. Based upon what you just said.
Slander. No, libel. Is it slander or libel when you write something wrong about something?
Slander.
I think slander is when you talk bad about something. Libel
Oh
is when
yeah,
you
like
write
mudslinging is slander. Yes, you're right. Oh no.
Okay, anyway, continue with the point.
We are smart.
We think we are. Continue with the point, though.
Yeah, no, it's you are a product of where you come from, where you are, but you can change it. The problem is everyone falls into the trap of just going with what they think they're born into.
Right.
It's harder to fight against it and become what you want to do.
Like Batman, because Batman doesn't kill, so it's harder not to kill. You know what I mean? My way is harder. It's like Batman. He lives a very disciplined lifestyle. I'm very.
Gets up in the morning, has 2 eggs.
Batman is a beast if you think about it. He lives a double life. He's a billionaire by day, and then he's a vigilante at night.
Right.
So he sleeps for 2 hours.
So
And he could have crumbled. Batman could have crumbled. He saw his parents get shot, and he could have been a criminal.
So
You
I have a great counter question for you.
I don't even know if what I said was a question, but okay. Batman?
Is it a testament to Batman's own self-interest and mentality that he came out good, or that he, because of his circumstances, he came out good? Because you can ask somebody, hey, I'll give you $1 billion and you can be a billionaire, but you lose both your parents. Would you take it? Or would you say, will you be like that with a family but be poor?
Look, keep your mom and dad and not have $1 billion, or have $1 billion and lose your mom and dad. I don't think that's exactly what Batman is. It's a very hard thing because like what he is a total contradiction of what he could have been, right? He's a vigilante. He fights for good. He never wants to see that injustice ever again. But in there, there's got to be conflict. You see these bad people. You keep letting them out on the streets. You gotta wanna, eventually almost embrace the dark side and become one of them, right? So product of your environment. You keep fighting bad guys. you might ultimately become a bad guy. That could be an instance, and he's doing the complete opposite there. Or he could have went the other route and completely crumbled, right? Become some kind of recluse. Never achieved anything in success as far as business or Batman wise. He could have just been, you know, like a sub, and you know, or
well, what about his nemesis, Lex Luthor?
What? That's Superman's nemesis.
Oh, fuck,
the Joker is Batman's nemesis, man. But anyway, I guess what I'm kind of getting at with this is like,
I'm just talking about rich people that went bad.
Right? If you focus, well, because he's another one. Like he's so smart that he's like, if you're so smart, you should have money. You know what I mean? If you're really a genius, an evil intellectual genius trying to take over the world, and you're broke, it's not a good look for you, Holmes. You know?
No, it's true.
What are you doing all your time? You just reading books and you're not even doing nothing like this. This is a very valid point. But what the whole point before we got totally off track is that it's how you react to it, right? To the circumstances that you're put in. Right, and if that's not the message that you want in your head, you gotta keep reinforcing what you want until it's there, right?
And you gotta work for it.
Yeah, but what you said, a lot of people give into the this is how it is, but I think it's because they don't know that they don't know that there's other options. It's like they've been told this is how you are, this is how you've been born, this is how you're raised, this is the environment you are in. There's no way out of it because everybody believes that still, but people are opening their minds up a lot more though. You know what I mean? It's like it's not luck when somebody comes out of the ghetto. They busted their fucking head and they believed they could have like a better life. You know what I mean? And they did it.
They never believed that was it for them. They never believed it was the end of the line. You know, it's keep going. When everybody's being it's safe to do it this way. It's safe to do it that way. You have to be, I guess, the innovator that thinks some way different and doesn't let the negative. Like I said, hear your own voice. What do you want to do? What do you really want to accomplish? And you can do it if you want, and it doesn't matter when you do it.
Become your own prophecy.
Right. Become your own prophecy.
I feel like such a dweeb saying the word ghetto. Well, you can rise up out of the ghetto, young lad.
Because we're trying to sound intellectual today. Impoverished situations or so
you can get your ass out the hood, boy. You'll be all right. That sounds better though, doesn't it? Like, yeah, you can get your ass out of the hood and ghetto. Ghetto just sounds like the ghettos of today. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
cop out. It is what it is.
It's what rich fucking like politicians talk about. You know what I mean? We gotta clean up the ghettos. Yeah. It's such a shitty word, too.
Yes, because it has terrible connotations.
Ghetto.
But what about the rest of the country that doesn't live in ghettos but that's impoverished?
What about your friends? What has that go? What?
I have no idea where he just went.
What are you talking about? What'd you say about impoverished countries?
Well, I'm saying there's like the ghettos are one thing to talk about and try to help people get out of. But think about it. The majority of this country is still white and doesn't live in the ghettos in the cities. It's the rest of the middle of the country that is poor, and they term white trash is often associated with it. And that's still a large percentage of the country.
White trash?
Yeah.
This guy just said a large portion of the country's white trash.
But just because they don't live in the ghetto doesn't mean...
Oh, I can't wait for you to fucking run for president. We're bringing this fucking out.
All right, enough of this bullshit. We got to take a quick break as we figure out what Nick's platform is for president. This is WMLD, the voice of the Hudson Valley, and you're listening to the Monkey Mind Show. And we're back on WMLD, the voice of the Hudson Valley, the Monkey Mind Show, and we're kicking it with Nick, and we were kind of just talking about superheroes' constitutions, I guess, like their directions, what makes them uniquely them, right? And why it is that they choose to follow a moral code, right?
Yeah, and that's 100% what I was talking about. Like, and I don't know about DC so much, but Marvel, a big thing is like there's the superheroes who have the highest constitution that's like infallible, like you can't break. There's certain ones like you can tempt them with jewels, money, girls, drugs, whatever, and they'll fall off the wagon, so to speak.
Oh, Iron Man?
Yeah, it's got to be Iron Man.
Iron Man's, alcohol was always his biggest thing.
Cyclops likes the women too, man.
Yeah.
He cleaned up pretty nice.
Exactly. But the ones that usually have the highest constitution are supposed to be like Spider-Man, I think Daredevil, and Captain America.
Is Cyclops like women because he's got one eye and he's just a one-eyed fucking monster? It has to be, right?
Don't even
It's gotta be.
Stare into my Woody of the future.
Is he really like women, or is he really like one woman?
Nah, no, he got that Jean Grey. He got that what's her name? The White Queen. What's her name? Emma Frost.
Emma Frost.
Yeah,
but didn't he go to Emma Frost after Jean Grey? Like
he's messed with a bunch of them, dude. He's a player. He's just he cleans up nice in the mutant world, apparently.
So who were the guys that you
But
said
maybe-
were unscathable or whatever
I think
it is?
I believe. Don't quote me on it. It's supposed to be Spider-Man, Daredevil,
Spider-Man's the first one to fuck up. His girlfriend died.
Captain America, and there's a fourth. I don't remember who the fourth is. Vision?
Yeah, dude, I don't know about
I
this.
don't even know. But it's definitely those three are supposed to be up there.
I feel like everybody's corruptible. That's just my own personal opinion. Even
Okay.
Superman goes down. He has to kill Doomsday. Like, you know,
See, but
everybody goes down these weird roads.
Superman's problem is he's too powerful.
He sucks. Yeah, he's definitely overpowered.
But that's why
That's not what we're
DC.
talking about. We're talking about constitutions. We're talking about why these dudes decide that above more and anything else, like why they stick by this code. Like in the face of every kind of adversity, they still choose to help other people. Well,
Well, I mean, number one, because they're characters.
yeah, exactly. Fictional characters.
They're fucking fake.
Oh, but they're somebody's mind, right? So these thoughts are somebody thought of these thoughts,
Yeah,
right?
but I
And
mean-
we pass them down like stories.
But if you want to make it literal, there's people out in the world that have high moral constitutions like that have never been corrupted.
Like
Like
who?
a lot of people look at like,
Harvey Dent. Look at him. Look what happened to Harvey Dent. He was Two-Faced.
I was gonna say like more like Mother Teresa, like going something tangible.
You don't know that. She could have been corrupted. She could have had like a hamburger on the low and y'all weren't paying attention.
Mother Teresa was a saint.
Yeah, but she was hungry.
Dog's gotta
But
eat.
having a hamburger doesn't mean that she doesn't have a good moral constitution.
It goes against what she believed when she was on her hunger strike, so she ate a hamburger.
Oh, you mean during her hunger strike?
Yeah.
That's a different thing. Well, it goes back to the. Well,
But yeah, no.
I was gonna go into Angels and Demons. Da
Good.
Vinci
Let's
Code.
go. Get into that. That's what I want from you because I want to
Yeah,
start.
we want the good
I want to
stuff.
start breaking out the gloves. I want to fight you today. Let's go,
Yeah,
baby. Come on.
We want none of the BS. We want the good
Talk
stuff.
about fucking Superman and Batman. Let's
Kryptonite
go.
gloves.
Come on.
No, I was gonna say they make a point of it in one of those two books. About they talk about the spiritual rape of Mother Teresa, where she was pierced by a mighty spear over and over in ecstasy, saw this vision of God. Sounds like she had sex.
Yeah, it definitely sounds like she got
Mother
speared.
Teresa?
That's wrong.
I don't know if it was Mother Teresa or Saint Teresa.
How old is this book?
Dan Brown?
Damn.
Oh.
Yeah, but they
The-
were talking about it. It's in Italy. There's a shrine dedicated to like the ecstasy of Saint Teresa or something like that. And she talks about getting pierced with this fiery spear.
Do you hear
over
that?
and over by an angel. Is she literally getting pierced by a fiery spear, or is she maybe having sex for the first time and she's because she was supposed to be holy made it into this thing?
Who the hell said Mother
that-
Teresa never had sex?
She's not the Virgin Mary.
Yeah, I know. Who the hell said that?
Also, this is just a book.
Yeah.
No. There's actually actual in the Catholic Church. There's about the ecstasy of Mother Teresa. That's like a real thing.
But
She was
when
exercising what,
when
a
was that
demon?
created?
This was old. I don't think it's
Mother
Mother Teresa.
All
we're
right, okay,
thinking of.
okay.
I think it's a saint that came
Gotcha.
before her. But she's a saint. She's supposed to be holy. She was never supposed to have carnal desires. It's not like Thomas Aquinas, who everyone knew was a playboy and an adulterer
Was he?
before. Yeah, until he got converted to the faith, and then wrote all these great sayings for the church.
He converted.
Yeah, exactly. He
Who,
converted.
Roger Merritt? Not Roger Merritt. Who was Adam Sandler talk about in the Hanukkah? He converted. Harrison Ford is Jewish. No. Roger. Is it Roger Maris? Roger Maris. He converted.
I'm singing the
Somebody
song in
knows
my
it.
head. I'm
Yeah,
singing the
Somebody
song in my
knows it. But anyway,
It's a Roger Maris hit 61 home runs.
this is Roger Maris in the song.
I don't know. I can't think of it right now. I'm trying to think of my thoughts and think the song, and I can't
All
think
right.
of
Well,
it.
now that we're on the topic of religion,
Mother Teresa gets
boy.
speared by what?
I don't know.
Speared?
A fiery spear.
This sounds like a dirty porn. Did Mother Teresa get speared? Like, what the hell are we talking
But the
about
thing
here?
is, the Bible is full of stuff like that. There's another thing, a documentary that I watched, and we brought it up in, where the shepherds or whatever, they were walking along, and then this great glowing spinning disc came down to them, and whatever, and they thought it was angels.
Okay.
Does that sound like angels? Or does it sound like freaking aliens, an alien encounter?
All right.
Sounds like a UFO.
If I may interrupt a little bit. So what are we talking about is the ecstasy of Saint Teresa, not Mother Teresa. It's a
Okay.
little
That's what I
different.
said.
Right, I know. We were just trying to clarify for the audience what the heck it is that we're talking about.
I didn't know Google was allowed on the show.
It is totally allowed on the show. It helps enhance what we're doing. So.
Sexually enhanced.
Oh yeah. Do you feel that carnal energy from the Saint? What is it? The ecstasy of Saint Teresa. So, since we're fucking being weird, it was designed and completed by Gian Lorenzo Barini, the leading sculptor of his day, who also designed the setting of the chapel in the marble, stucco paint, blah 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 blah. No one cares. But it's a statue, right?
Mm-hmm.
Rod Carew. Sorry. Rod Carew. He converted.
Yes. Yes.
People will get
So
it.
Rod Carew created the ecstasy of Saint
Not
Teresa.
Bernini. Not Bernini.
Why are we talking about this statue?
I don't know, but you better start getting into some deep religious stuff right here, because this guy does not like religion. He knows a lot about stuff.
It's a sham.
All right, go ahead and tell people about it.
Well, okay, so I don't. Can we? I think we should cut a lot of this shit.
We're not cutting shit, Brian.
We're going uncut. Fuck it. So where are we going? We talk a lot about vibes. We talk about the universe. We talk about stuff of that nature. What exactly is your belief, I guess, when it comes to spirituality, right?
Yeah, sure.
Okay,
Because
fair enough. I know, I don't know about you, Brian, but I definitely talked to Nick about this. Is that I consider myself between two things. Would either be deism or agnosticism.
Okay, so for people that don't know what deism is,
Yeah,
can we,
deism is that you believe some sort of deity or God created the universe and everything, and then kind of just backed off and was like, I created it all,
So
I'm
you-
the creator, by everything's gonna run itself.
so you believe in a higher power?
Yeah.
Okay, and so then the second part? Just to clarify?
Agnosticism believes in some sort of deity as well, but believes all modern day religions are wrong and doesn't know like what to actually what organized faith to believe in.
So
They're
you
pretty
believe in
similar.
a higher power, right? That you believe that something was here, created us, but no longer guides us,
Mm-hmm.
and you believe that modern day religions as constructs are wrong.
Correct. Yep.
So you don't believe that you should follow one man's interpretation like the Bible or the Quran?
Nope.
Right?
You said it. The most thing is one man's. It's men that made these books, wrote these things, told us what to believe, not to believe, said they were prophets from a higher power.
So it's cool. I'm glad that you brought that up. So a lot of us are raised, right? So we're kind of talking about that earlier on in our show, is that we are kind of programmed when we are younger to follow people's basic instincts and habits, and right? So now we learn about religion at a very young age, and we either embrace these thoughts at a young age or we immediately reject them, right? So because that is what we're taught. And it seems like, you know, especially in the beginning, you kind of just go with the crowd and you don't think about it. So for me, I think what I'm kind of getting into is, for me, I know I was like a teenager before. I had these very exact thoughts that we're talking about, that somebody told me to believe this. And, you know, and I was forced, and I was never given the option of believing anything else. So then my spiritual journey began, right? And I grew up Catholic, so I don't know about you guys.
Well, I mean, I grew up Catholic too, but I wasn't like super religious, but I was in my mind very religious.
Right. Can I
I-
stop you real quick?
yeah.
What makes it that you're religious? I know in Catholicism they believe because you read prayers and you do almost.
Well, that's the thing, because I believed everything that they told me. I believed that if I committed this kind of sin, I was a fucking sinner. I was going to hell if I did this. And it shaped, some of it shaped me to be a good person, but some of it gave me fucking shame that I didn't need to fucking grow up with. And I'm disgusted with that people have to be ashamed of, like, who, especially when it comes to sexuality. Like, I'm a straight man, but I had to feel certain ways about things. Like, you're a sinner because you have, like, thoughts in your head, or you do this, you do that. Yeah.
that everybody
Like,
has.
you know what I mean? And, like, you're brought up to feel
Premarital
ashamed, and you're not
sexism.
supposed to fucking feel ashamed. You're supposed to embrace what these feelings that you have. Yeah, you shouldn't go out and just fucking bang everything and just be a wild man. I mean, maybe you should. Who knows? But like there's if you're in a committed relationship, you should be committed to them. That's the type of thing that, like, certain things teach you. But, like,
Okay.
I don't know, man. It's just,
I got you.
I think religion was formed to give you a shitload of. It's used for power. I think it's used to seclude, to separate us, Like, countries separate us, religion separate us, politics separates us. These are all things that cause fucking wars and shit like that. You know what I mean? Like, at the very good and heart of religion, they're there to teach you to be a good person, really, right? With the fundamentals of it. Do this, do this, do this, right? Don't do this, don't do this.
It's
don't
still
fucking
a moral
hurt people.
code.
Right.
Yeah.
But people use it to their advantage. Obviously, they mistreat people with it, and I don't think it's... I think it just separates people, because people think if you're not a Catholic, you're not going to share an eternal life with me. Just because you were born and raised to think that Judaism is the best, you're not going to go to heaven, quote unquote heaven, because you were taught something different?
Mm-hmm.
It's fucking bullshit. And it just tears us apart. You know what I mean?
When you look at it from that perspective, absolutely. When you look at it as a very strict thing, a moral code that you can't sway from, and a lot of these religions are based on that. But yeah, when you look at it from not case to case and just a blank slate, and you just say these are the rules and you need to follow them, and it doesn't matter what circumstance comes up, these are the rules. Yeah. And this is what I taught. And yeah, like you said, it can be interpreted as a system of control, and that's where in the beginning it did not start like that. It's about the moral code and living life as you would want to treat your brother, right? Is that right? Jesus is more about inclusion, forgiveness, and treat one as you want to be treated in one another. So that's very cool. But as it progresses down the line in history, it is more about control. You know, you get the Romans and everybody, they get their hands into it, and it's more about this is what we say because the Pope and the Bishop, and that has its own system of corruptness. And now you, instead of are coming to worship, you're coming to follow your rules. Especially in Catholicism, the biggest hypocrite for my thing is confession. You can be a shitbag all 6 days a week, but on Sunday you say what you need to say and you're good. You do your Hail Marys and you're out. Yeah. You know what I mean? So that's where it becomes. Is that what spirituality, I guess, really is? Is it you finding your own moral compass? And that's why, too, with not just Catholicism, but that's just where I'm kind of going with. They started. They're the biggest branch off, and then more and more. What's his name? Martin Luther comes with the 95 Theses, and he puts it on the walls, and that's his interpretation of what, right, that he thinks religion is supposed to be. And then another man comes, and he has his religion, and then you have Muhammad with his stuff. And it's like you said, it's a new system of rules and interpretations. But what we get into more is there has to be some kind of driving force in the universe that causes us all to live one way or the other. But we're not one thing or the other. We're both, right? We're good, we're bad, we're fucking... You know what I mean? We believe what we believe. I think I live a good life, but to somebody else, I could be living a shit life. You know what I mean? I'm not helping enough. I'm not putting the right energies out there. Whatever the case. So...
You got stuff to say.
You got something?
You
Yeah.
got stuff to say over there.
Yeah, you guys went both off very long before I was able to answer. So
I do that from time to time.
yeah,
Let's hear it.
So yeah, I like these two fine young gentlemen in front of me. I was also born and raised Roman Catholic. I was an altar boy, everything else. Like Nick said, from a young age, I considered myself very religious. I don't know. You went to St. Anne's with me. You know how they had the little library and they had in the basement or whatever, and they used to rent all the books. I read every Catholic book they had in there.
Because you wanted to? Or
because I wanted to.
Because you wanted to.
And I thought I was going to be like the next saint, and people were like, oh, Nick's going to go into priesthood. Literally, I read every religious book they had from from a first grade to eighth grader in my second, third grade years. And everyone literally called me to be the next priest.
Do you feel that was something in your spirit that God called to you? Was that the direction or do you feel like that was what they were trying to tell you and you wanted to hear almost? Do you feel like, you know what I mean? Was that legit a calling, or was it influence?
I don't know if it was either or. Like, everyone wanted to be... I went to a Catholic school. My parents were religious to a degree. Well, no one made me read those books. You could rent whatever books you wanted to and then put them back.
That's what I'm saying.
I decided to for some reason. I don't really remember why. It was second, third grade. I don't really remember why I went so hard on that tangent.
So this is the start of your spiritual background with Catholicism then? How old are you? About 10?
Probably even younger. Probably 8 or 9. Yeah.
Okay.
So, and
I'm just curious.
Yeah, and I went on it, and I don't really know why. Then I thought it was because I wanted to be this holy, pious person. now I'm glad I did it because, from what I do remember, whatever, it's very fraudulent, but whatnot. But back then, I didn't think that, and like I'd be like, oh, Nick's gonna be a priest, blah blah blah, and I thought it was the greatest thing. As I got older,
There's nothing wrong with that. I used to sing in the choir with my grandma every Sunday. Like, not even a lie. You know what I mean? That's why I asked when it began for you, and I associate a lot of my spirituality with my own grandmother, and started when my stuff started conflicting was after she died, actually. So you know what I mean? And then I felt, I guess, more free to dive deep into myself. So that's why I kind of asked these questions. If it was like a natural drive, or is it something you associated with maybe a family member, you know what I mean? Because now, to have the idea that you have, you believe there's a driving force in the universe, right? But it's changed. You don't call it, I guess, God. I mean, everybody wants to simplify it as God, but like, you know? So you obviously call it something different now. So when do you think that started to change, now that we know a little more about your background?
Well, for me, it's quite simple. Is everyone in my family got sick at similar times. It was my oldest grandfather, then it was my grandmother came to live with us because she couldn't live alone. Then my dad got diagnosed with cancer when I was 9 or 10, and then my other grandfather got sick, and literally, like, life was in and out of hospitals as like a young teenager, and most teenager. And that's where it changed, because the church says about...
I was going to say, you didn't find comfort in the Bible when all this stuff is going on, because, you know, according to it, it's that God moves in his mysterious ways, and he does the things that he does for a reason. You know what I mean? It's either to make you stronger. We don't see it. You know. One of my favorite things from the Bible or something, I forgot. I don't know exactly, but the to quote it very loosely is, it's who are you to ask God? Like, he in his response is, where were you when I created the universe? Were you there to question me? I don't think so. So my intentions are my intentions. And I think it's Job. I think it comes from the book of Job, because he struggles pretty harshly in that too.
Yeah, so, because he loses everything, his family and everything, and he's like, God, why do you do this to me?
You couldn't find comfort in any Bible verse like that, so you start to explore, I guess?
I mean, I don't know, like, if it was literally an exploration like that. The biggest thing is I was just so worried about, like, school and football and my family that I didn't have time to look elsewhere. But the thing is, what did everybody always say the church and these people are supposed to be? Comfort when you need it. They're supposed to be unity. They're going to help you. My mom was working a job, I was driving her crazy while she spent all her free time in the hospital. No one from my parish helped me. Everyone knew my dad was in and out of the hospital. Everybody knew she was raising 3 sons at home by herself. No one made us meals. No one asked us if we were okay. No one came and visited my dad. No one did it. Yes, I had some family members that did it. I had a lot of friends that did it. But, like, the parish, the people that are supposed to step up and do it, no one did.
So, you didn't find it in traditional means, but that doesn't mean that God or the universe wasn't looking out for you. Like you said, you may have looked for it in the church, but obviously you guys made it through. It was tough, difficult circumstances, but the universe, or God, or whatever you want to call it, definitely looked out for you. Family and friends, the people that probably least expected to be there for you are there for you. Do you believe that at all? Like, that's something I'm a firm believer in, that it's always there. Everything that you ever need is readily available for you in some shape or form. You may not see it, but it's there.
But that's the thing, is it's what your own interpretation is. Like, my thing is that I don't think it was spiritual or God, and I'm not talking just literally religion.
Because I almost feel like it almost sounds like you're jaded with religion because of what circumstances.
He had a lot of things taken away from him in a short amount of period of time, and there's only one thing to blame, and you look up and say, why the fuck did you do this to me?
So,
but it's not even just that. It's why did nobody else help? The whole thing about parishes and congregations is everyone's supposed to help look out for each other. And families, too. And it's why I have a lot of angst with my family, and so do my brothers. They were the ones who were supposed to do it. They weren't. It's friends. Friends are the ones who stepped up. My brother's friends, my friend's girlfriend, ex-girlfriend, whatever. Those are the people that stepped up. And yes, there was a few family members, but it wasn't the majority. And they didn't step up, and no, people did. And it's like people who care about it. And it's very much about why I believe in give what you get. And I know I've had that conversation with you a billion times, Nick. Like, some people are willing to give it, other people are not. Is it the universe? Is it God? I don't know. But I think people are people. People, you want to talk about vibes? People connect and are drawn to the vibes that they get back. If you don't get a vibe, a good vibe, remember, you're not going to be drawn to them. I don't know if that's biologically, chemically, whatever you want to call it. But I don't know about religion or spiritual because I don't know if it is. I don't know. For me, it's not tangible. Maybe that's the problem. If it's not tangible to me, I don't believe it. Mm-hmm. You want to call me a naysayer or whatever.
She was doubting Thomas. Are you doubting Thomas?
What is your definition though? Like of tangible? Like yeah, because I think it again maybe interpretation. Like I see it in everything that I ever do. Like dude, I see it too much. It's crazy. I see things as I see them. Right? We all perceive them, but so I believe in the universe, and I believe in like the law of like the fucking binary code and things go. We were eating lunch, dude, and the police officer comes in, and we're doing our own thing. I'm staring at the police officer's head, got 333 on it. I'm like always thinking about the numerology thing and the sequence. That I don't find it to be a coincidence. I find that to be somebody talking to me. For the good, for the bad. We weren't doing anything spectacular. We were eating lunch, dude. But I think it's always there. It's if you pay attention. That's my personal interpretation of it.
See, now my counter to you is it called paying attention, or is it called you're looking for something?
I don't know, man, because I it's one of the things I talk about with Nick in a couple episodes is that I don't know if I'm subconsciously looking for it anymore. I don't know if it's fucking just being right there in my face repeatedly to be looking for it. I don't know. When I look into them, it says that you're doing the right things, whatever, and I'm trying not to make them conscious thoughts. I'm trying to just ignore it. And I feel like the more that I try to ignore it, it's like almost like a crazy thing right now. The more I notice it, the more that I'm just like, just go about it. And dude, 11:33 on my receipts, or it'll be like on the pizza, dude. I got pizza the other day, 2 slices and a soda, $7.77. Come on, man. Like, I don't make the prices, I don't make the tax. It just comes up to that. And
whether it's just noticing it or actually happening, I think it's good no matter what.
I'm not making it up.
No, I'm saying, but either you're just becoming more aware or whatever it is.
Or
it's
more in tune. I don't know.
But it's going to be the same thing. Like, all right, if you start talking about the numbers and you start seeing them, what if you start talking about good all the time and good just keeps happening, and then you're in touch with people with good vibes, and you're always, you know what I mean? Like all that kind of stuff just flowing together. Just because you're maybe just acknowledging it more doesn't make it bad. You know what I mean? Like, okay, just because you're thinking about brown cars and you see brown cars now all the time, you're focusing your attention on it. That just means that we have the ability to put something out there and then focus on it more. You know what I mean? Like, so with that being said, I mean, you should just think about what you want and
I guess
focus on it.
Yeah, that's.
So you're saying if you think about something hard enough, you'll make it happen.
I don't know, but that's what I mean.
You could draw. I believe in the law of attraction, and we were saying the law of vibration and stuff like that. And I believe, that what you think about comes about. You become what you think about, and then you take on action to become that or get something that you want. It all starts with thoughts, obviously. If you want to become a millionaire, you have to plot out a plan. You have to picture yourself as a millionaire. You have to already think that you've succeeded, and then you go get it. Same thing with you want to become a football player. You got to get your ass outside and fucking practice every single day. It's the same thing as like you're attracting certain aspects into your life, and you do have to do physical things to follow through with it, obviously. But like.
But yeah, I hear that. I guess my biggest always question is where do you get your guiding voice like that tells you to do what you want to do. You know what I mean? And then like, is that the God? Is it the universe that you're getting it from? Because not everybody's calling is the same. Like you said, football player, doctor, whatever you truly want to become, you become, right? But why? Why do we want to become these things? Is it because of our influence on the outside? Do we really want to help people? Because I think some people who want to be a doctor just do it for the money. Let's be real. But a lot of people do it because they do want to help people.
Right.
And a lot of other people. So it's like tap into our own spirituality. Is that the guiding force? Are we supposed to do these things? Does any of this shit really matter in the grand fucking scheme of things? All the things that we focus on is we're all wrong. Are we all wrong? Do we not? You know what I mean? Is it as cold-blooded as do what I say and then you get into heaven later? And we make it more complicated. Because so right to the according to those things, we were granted the free will. We all got to our different places, right, with our thoughts. So so that's cool.
I mean, I think that I don't know. I think there's more to it. Like I kind of believe that reincarnation could be could be real to a degree, and like I don't want to mess up. I'd like to succeed.
It was
like
fucking
to,
4 on
as soon as
the
you
thing
looked
when I
at
looked
it.
over. And now, come on, how did I do? No, how did I do that, Nick? Come
As he
on,
rolls
like
his
as
eyes,
he rolled
yeah.
by, how did I do that
You
one?
looked at it
I didn't though.
All day he didn't look at it until now. He sees 444 up
And
there.
I just so happened to glance,
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah, well, I don't have my glasses on, so I can't even see the numbers. So
Yeah,
go
but
after
that's,
yourself.
yeah, dude, it's I don't know. That's weird. I don't. And, are you in tune with a body clock, with the vibes? Are you? Can you sense like time? Because I feel like I can sense time. Like I know when I go to sleep, I know I can wake up in 8 hours. I don't know where I went in between, but I know I can wake up at 8 o'clock and I'll be up.
You went to Taco Bell at some point in between that time.
Probably did. But like, do you believe in stuff like that? Like, no.
No, what do you mean? Not being able to wake up like when you
Like a
At a
body
certain
clock,
time, like,
yeah, like
I'm gonna wake
on a
up at 8
regular
o'clock
basis. No,
tomorrow.
I mean you get into the
well,
habit of
off
waking
10
up.
or
and,
minutes,
like,
yeah.
yeah.
But
I mean, it's just patterns.
rhythm,
Yeah.
patterns.
Like, I wake up usually somewhere between 6:30 and 7 because of work.
Right.
Yeah.
Just every day. Now, like I
But do
said,
you have a
today-
sense of that? Did you know that like 5:30, you could feel 5:30 out if you wanted to?
No.
No,
I
but
had set an
if you're
alarm
going
every day.
through the day, you could say that's probably like fucking 4:30 right now.
Mhm.
You could fucking wing it and not be off by
Yes.
5 hours.
Yes.
It's only 9:30 in the morning,
Yes,
asshole.
yes, but not like sleeping.
Not coming out of the sleep.
Yeah, but if you woke up in the middle of the night, you couldn't be like, it's probably like 1:45. You could tell. You could tell how long you've been
Generally,
sleeping.
yes, 'cause
Yeah.
you can tell by daylight too.
No, but if
Yeah,
it's
but
like
in the room.
between like midnight and fucking 4 in the morning, there's no daylight. But like even early different hours. But like, I don't know. Most of the time, I'll be like, oh fuck, it's probably like 3:30. And sometimes you're confused. You're like, oh shit, it's fucking only 1:30.
Yeah.
But I think for the most part, human beings just have that general
Yeah,
time.
it's called an internal clock.
Yeah.
Generally, yes.
What about a biological clock? Is it
Oh,
seconds?
mine's fucking stamping on the floor, ready to go.
Oh shit.
So we
Wait.
no longer know what we're talking about here.
Wait. No, I want to rein it back in because
Talk
you
about it,
said
'cause
something.
we got a couple more minutes and it's all you now.
Yeah.
Rip
You
it.
said something
your
that I
points.
wanted to go back on, and then
That's
you
fine.
jumped in and I
Sorry.
forgot.
All right, go for it. Well,
What?
I don't know. What were you saying before he started
Oh,
talking
the,
about the clocks and stuff?
The reincarnation.
Yes. So now I don't know if I believe in that. I don't know if I don't believe in
Right.
it. But seriously, that's a crazy concept. I don't know if I can believe in heaven or hell because that's a big problem I have with Catholicism and Christianity, is that babies that are not baptized don't go to heaven.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
That's fucking ludicrous.
Yeah.
I
those
don't know if
babies
I'm
didn't do shit.
It's
I don't
to
know if
scare
I'm allowed
you.
to curse.
It's
Yeah,
to
you can.
scare
Say
you.
Oh, okay.
It's
Fuck
to
it.
scare you into joining their religion so they can make
Yep.
more money off of you.
Yep, so you can baptize.
I just
the
gave him a high
babies.
five. You guys can't see, but I did it.
We heard it. Right. Here on the monkey mind.
Can I just cut in one thing which I want to say
Go for
before?
it.
The one rule about Catholicism, but you know how like the priests aren't allowed to get married, right? I don't know if I read this or I made this up, but I'm pretty sure I read it, and the reason why they're not allowed to get married is so they weren't allowed to divvy up any sort of property that the church owned. So if a priest, like, I don't know, maybe back in the day they had a plot of land or something like that, so then you get married and you die, now your wife is entitled to your property, right?
Or you can't.
Where was
Right.
this?
So now you can't have a fucking wife, which is ridiculous because of that, which is a selfish reason, and then all these fucking scandals fucking go on.
And do you know what
whatever.
the real reason is? That this
We
is
were
that
studying this
God's
before.
supposed to be first. That's why.
Yeah, but that's the ultimate hypocrisy about religion in itself, is that it's once becomes like a thing that man controls and comes out of the spirit's hands.
Yeah.
It's, you know what I mean? Something that's ultimately going to be corruptible. And the more that you try to grow it and pass it along, it's like a game of telephone. Your interpretations become more and more loose as they get passed further and further down the hand. And I'm really upset because we're going to have to cut something else out to keep this, because this is becoming a really long episode.
No, we're going good. Listen, you
We're
got
going-
2 minutes.
Right.
Go ahead.
Well, no. The thing I wanted to go into is I talked about somebody about yesterday about the movie Spotlight.
No idea what that is.
It's a movie where they did an investigation in Boston about all the pedophile cases of priests touching children.
I think that's some other shit. I don't even want to talk about that,
No,
but continue.
No, I'm not going into that. My
Yeah.
point is that
The
the
private poor
church,
priest
the
the
church
booty.
covers stuff. How
Of
are you
course.
supposed to believe in this high-end institution that's
Yeah.
supposed to direct our moral codes when they're the most corrupt institution?
It's another
out there?
episode for another day. The Vatican and how it is its own country, and how they will ultimately sweep everything under the rug to protect themselves like a corporation. But we don't have time for any more of that. We are getting close to the end of time.
We'll
here.
have you back on another time. Nick.
Another time, Nick. It has been awesome, and I wish we would have got into that a little earlier in the
Yeah.
episode.
Well,
But
yeah,
what we're gonna do is something we love here on the Monkey Mind Show. It is the freestyle.
that's right.
5 minutes. That's never 5 minutes. So it's like 30 seconds. One day I'll
Yeah.
get 5 minutes. But All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, play a different tune.
Let's give I will. Let's give a shout out to Nick for joining us today.
Very special shout
Where
out.
can you find Nick on Instagram? What's people want to
What's going on
follow?
with you, Nick?
Nick Dill 40.
That's right, Nick Dill 40
Yes.
Instagram. Find him.
And he talks about this kind of stuff on his Instagram.
Yeah.
He's usually in his bathroom.
And ladies,
Ladies,
he's a cutie pie. Slide into his DMs.
Oh God! Thank
Alright.
you for having me.
He's
gentlemen.
on. He
It's
is
been a
on
pleasure.
Bumble and Tinder and Facebook, all that good stuff. Snapchat. Hit him
Yeah,
up.
exactly.
Maestro, hit that music. Why is this one so difficult? I'm just trying to go out on a high note. We talked about little things and I got into a bowl of smoke. So I don't know where to go with the end of the show, but you should follow us on Insta and Facebook and YouTube, the Monkey Mind Podcast. WMLD, the voice of the Hudson Valley. It's not been my best freestyle, but it's been fun. As always, special shout out again to Nick DiFato for coming in. Nick Celio on guitar, couldn't do this beat justice, and me, Nero the Natural. Catch you next time.
We out.